Hello, welcome to the 2023 edition for State of Waste. Our legislative session for Washington starts tomorrow, January 9th. So we'll have some bills that were pre-filed that I'm introducing today. I've not dug into many of them very far, but I'll give you an overview at least of what bills I think are going to have a chance to even get to committee. Some of them I don't think will get very far. So, as we look at, there were quite a few filed. So, House Bill 1003 was access to dual credit. That's just a more of a make sure that a lot of students, all students have access to the dual credit programs. The state or Senate Bill 5125, the Washington Future Fund. I've not dug very much into that one yet. Senate Bill 5127, redacting student information as for student security and school requirement be a school requirement for redacting student information. House Bill 1013, a regional apprenticeship program, which that should be interesting to see how that develops through. Kind of cool to see every region have its own apprenticeship program where students could go into those fields since we have a shortage of people working in those areas. House Bill 1015, para education requirements, and I haven't looked at that one too in depth. House Bill 1071, putting a school resource officer in every school, kind of a touchy subject in our state. So that one will be interesting to see if anything happens with it. Senate Bill 5180, which is interstate teacher mobility. That's creating a way that more teachers could move into the state and out of the state and still retain their certification. So that'll be interesting to see how that changes over the course of the legislative session. House Bill 1193 keeps appearing, the school choice measure. Senate Bill 5008, parent access to materials, just trying to get parents more involved in the process and giving them access to all educational materials. Senate Bill 5009, I have read through this one, parent consent for sexual education. And that is currently the law is that parents have to opt their kids out. This would change it so parents have to opt their kids in to the sex education and the health environment. So could be interesting. May not go anywhere. Senate Bill 5019, paras and school safety. Have not read through that one yet. Senate Bill 5020, the age for elementary school. That bill would make it a requirement that at age 6, students are supposed to be in public schools or in schools. Senate Bill 5024 is the Parents' Bill of Rights. Big push nationwide for stuff like this, and I don't see it going very far in our state. So, Senate Bill 5029 concerning the school board of directors. Senate Bill 5048, I have read this one, college and the high school fees. This would make the state pay for all the college and the high school fees. So students would pay nothing anywhere in the state for this. Been kind of a big push moving away from advanced placement courses into these types of courses. So that one I think has, to me, it should pass fairly easily. There is a House bill that kind of goes along the way, which reduces the fees. So we'll see if there's a compromise made where the fees are just reduced instead of all paid for. Senate Bill 5054 is about PLCs and increasing the number of hours required for PLCs for all districts in the state. Senate Bill 5064, special education funding. I've not read through that one yet. Senate Bill 5065 would introduce teaching about bone marrow donations into the health curriculum. Senate Bill 5072, this one was last year in a bill, but it didn't go anywhere. So it's back this year to put equity in highly capable programs, just making it more accessible for more students. Senate Bill 5085 regarding administrator contracts. Senate Bill 5102, the school library and technology info, trying to get more school librarians and more schools putting that in because of the importance of reading. This one, as I read through that, I didn't see any requirement for funding though, so it all kind of comes back to that. It's one of those, you're going to do it, and we're not going to help fund it. So we'll see what happens with that. Senate Bill 5126. I have not read through this, small school district funding. House Bill 1109, more a different special education funding, probably is a companion bill for the Senate one. House Bill 1113 is information on reprimanded teachers. This is a bill that's shown up the last 2 or 3 years, and it just basically makes it so the information, you're not going to, a teacher that gets reprimanded, it doesn't stick with them for the rest of their lives. Kind of that concept. It's kind of a push that our state has been making in a lot of areas. So that'd be interesting to see if anything happens with that because it keeps appearing and not going anywhere. So House Bill 1146, parent notification for dual credit. This puts a the onus on the school district to make sure every parent is notified about the dual credit options for their students. And then Senate Bill 5175 is another admin contracts bill, but slightly different than 5085. So those will probably end up being merged at some point, and only one bill being available if it advances. Some of these bills are already scheduled for committee. Some may not be, so I will just keep you updated every week. Since the session starts this week, I know the committee meetings start this week as well. So if you have any questions about any of those bills, let me know, or any others that you see come up. These will not be the only bills introduced. These are only the ones that were pre-filed prior to the legislative session starting. So there will be more coming, I'm sure. All right, have a great week.